All right, today we are diving deep into a really strange and honestly pretty disorienting piece of found footage. We're going to piece together the timeline of a mission that just went completely, horribly wrong.
So we're going to start our analysis with this one single line that was recovered from the audio. It's sarcastic, it's tired, and it tells you everything you need to know about the mindset here. These people are exhausted, trapped in what feels like a hopeless repeating nightmare. It's a place of maddening, endless looping architecture.
Okay, so from the very first bits of dialogue we could make out, the story is crystal clear. There's a team, they're lost, and they are desperate to find a way out of this place. But, their strategy from the very beginning is, let's just say, a little questionable.
And here it is. Someone asks, "What are you doing?" And the answer is, "Looking for a shortcut." I mean, in a place like this, the very idea of an easy way out, well, that's a dangerous fantasy. And it's one that starts to fall apart almost immediately.
Now, in this place, time itself feels like it's broken. But this little fragment of information, it gives us this chilling anchor point. 6 days. Can you just imagine that? The psychological toll, the hope just draining away, the panic setting in, being lost in the same bland hallways for almost a full week. But then, just when you think you have the timeline figured out, we hear this. Weeks. Wait, weeks? Is this a totally different group they've just stumbled upon? Or has their own perception of time just completely shattered? That uncertainty, that confusion, that's a huge part of the horror here. So, you've got all this chaos and this surreal horror, but then you start to notice these weird little clues that this whole thing wasn't an accident. This was some kind of official, structured mission, and it was being run by a surprisingly strict, almost corporate set of rules.
Just listen to this. In a moment of absolute crisis, what's the first thing someone says? We gotta stick to the checklist. That one phrase, it just flips the whole script. These aren't just random people who are lost. They're employees on a mission, trying to follow the rules, even as their entire world is literally falling apart around them.
And this right here, this just lays out the central conflict perfectly. On one side, you have the clean, professional corporate speak of the mission protocol. And on the other, you have the bitter, sarcastic reality of failure and betrayal. The entire system and the people in it are just breaking under the pressure.
And this is the final result of that broken system. When one person asks for help, another uses the protocol, the checklist, as an excuse to do nothing. It's a total breakdown of teamwork, of basic humanity, really, where following the rules becomes more important than actually surviving.
So, you gotta ask, what was this mission? What was so important that they had to follow a checklist into this nightmare? Well, all the evidence in the footage points to one very specific goal. They were looking for a signal.
Right, so this wasn't just some random exploration. The protocol, the checklist, it was all for this. They were on a search mission, actively trying to track down a specific signal that was cutting through the static of this place. And boom, here you have it, direct confirmation from the team themselves. And they were successful, at least at first. They found what they were looking for, a strong, clear signal breaking through that awful, oppressive silence.
Okay, so they found the signal, but what did it actually sound like? Because this is where the mystery really takes another sharp turn. It wasn't just a simple beacon or a burst of static. Oh no, it was something much more unsettling.
And here is the perfect trap. The signal sounds like a voice. Is it one of their own guys? Another lost team member calling for help? Or is it a mimic, a lure, designed to pull them in deeper? They can't tell the difference, and they walk right into it.
So, following a mysterious voice into a clearly hostile environment, well, it had a very real and devastating human cost. This is the point where the mission completely and totally goes off the rails. If you piece together all these little bits of dialogue, you can actually reconstruct the tragedy, step by step. They find the signal, then the radio dies, and then, so does Nick. Later, a status report confirms it. 1 body, 2 people missing.
And the audio that's left on the recording? It's just raw panic. These desperate cries of pain, of claustrophobia, of pure terror. The checklist is long gone. Now, it's just about survival.
The mission ended in total chaos, but it didn't end in complete silence. A recovery team actually managed to salvage the camera, and that leads us to the final part of our analysis, the physical evidence. And what the lab found is, well, it's deeply disturbing.
So, this is it. This is the black box from the whole mission.
This badly damaged camera holds the final, horrifying moments of the team, and it holds the key to what they found when they finally got to the source of that signal.
The lab report is so cold and sterile, just this simple list. But really think about what this is saying. 7 human teeth, a glass eyeball, a left ear. And the most chilling part? All of these items were recovered from inside the camera's housing.
And then, this one line, whispered in absolute terror, right before the footage cuts out for good, it confirms their worst fear. After all that searching, after everything they went through, they were never, ever alone.
But just when you think there are no more surprises, the very last few frames of distorted video reveal another person, a total unknown, someone just standing there with a briefcase, watching it all happen. Who is this?
And that is the question that just hangs in the air, right? The analysts watching the footage are asking it, and so are we. The fate of that first team seems pretty clear, but this new person, their story is a complete mystery.
So in the end, after you put all the pieces together, the most important question isn't just what happened to the team we followed, it's what or who is still in there. This footage, it's not an ending. It's proof that there are other stories and maybe a lot more victims still waiting in the silence.